If you love someone, you simultaneously love and accept their fragility. And that means that in some way you actually think it's justifiable. That's what I thought about my son. It's like, no, I think he's fine just the way he is. Like 3 years old, got his problems, certainly gets hurt a fair bit, and is probably going to get hurt more, but I'm not trading him in. I like him just the way he is. And so that's it's a realization of the soul that there's something about the fragility of human life that's actually valuable. And it is the limitation. That's the thing that's so cool about it, is that it's this limitation that we are, because that's what we are, is we're limitation. We're potential conjoined with limitation in some sense. Think, well, we want to get rid of the limitation, but it's not the case. We have to keep the limitation because it's integral to who we are. And so we're in this situation where we have to be limited, and we have to accept it, and we have to confront what's essentially an infinite potential to help us manage it. And I think that's true. And I think that's how we act. I think it's what we expect. I think it's what we need to know. Because you have to say, and that's part of standing up straight, right? And accepting the tragedy and catastrophe of existence. This is partly why I think the West got it right. Because I do think we got it right. The central story, we're a Judeo-Christian culture, and there's a central story at the bottom, and the story is about the radical acceptance of fragility. That's what the crucifixion represents. The fact that that's a voluntary act. And it's about everybody. That's the thing. It's about everybody. It's that, well, you're going to die. You're going to be betrayed. Those are going to happen. And so you can either shrink from that and maybe envelop yourself in bitterness and hatred. And no wonder, no wonder. Or you can say, bring it on. Bring it on. And so I would say, well, I've looked at dark things as much as I can, and I think that's probably hurt me in many ways, but it's been unbelievably helpful, because the thing about darkness is it makes the light stand out. And as I've looked deeper and deeper into terrible things, I've also realized that there's something amazing about human beings. Because our lives are bounded by tragedy, and we are capable of deep malevolence. More so than you can almost imagine. But I don't think that's what defines us. I really don't. I think what defines us is the ability to transcend that. I truly believe that. And so I'm not pessimistic, I'm optimistic. And I do believe that people are embodied miracles. I really think that's the right way of thinking about it. And I think we all know this. And what I'm hoping in these polarized times is that we return to that realization, and that we adopt the responsibility of full individual being as an antidote to, idiot political polarization, but also as an impetus for us all to move forward into the future. We're in an inflection point, I think, in our culture, in the world. Things are opening up in front of us that have never opened up before. It's very dangerous. Our technological prowess is very dangerous, and things could go very dreadfully wrong. But I don't think they have to. I think they could go extraordinarily right. And I think that each of us, I do believe this, that every single person sitting here, every single person there is, but every single person sitting here plays a key role in that decision. We're all part of it. We're deeply networked. We all influence everyone else. And we are these divine centers of consciousness that are separate but united at the same time. And the decisions that each of us make as individuals are far more important than we realize. Our lives are ultimately meaningful, I think. And that we do decide whether by our actions we're going to bring a worse or a better cosmos into being. And I would say that we should dispense with our resentment and our bitterness, despite the fact that we have every reason for it, and stand up and face things forthrightly and speak the truth and make the world a better place.